From the UK to the US to Canada, this is what the culture has been talking about. This is the Tiye Noelle Show. Okay, guys, and we are back with another episode. I don't even know what we're on, but it's a solo show. Both Ken and Kim are not here, so it's me, myself, and I. Let's see how today goes. We were all sick, and I didn't want them to come and sicken up the place. You know what I mean? Caravana is this week, and I need to be in tip-top condition so I can go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will tell you if I, kiss a few frogs and meet my prince over the weekend, but we have high expectations. So by the time you guys see this, actually no, by the time you guys see this, I won't be shaking a leg, but I will have a mask on, my nails done, my feet done, and a new braid down under this wig. So yeah. Anyways, let's just go into hot topics for the week. I didn't think that we would hear from this lady, but the audacity of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, actually Miss Cheyenne Bryant, is that she decided to get back on this internet and double down, triple down, quadruple down on the fact that she is a doctor. A few weeks ago, we spoke about the fact that she basically copyright Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, which is why she's allowed to use the word doctor without any, pushback legally, I guess. But she decided to do that Netflix challenge where she sit down about the Netflix documentary. Now, we saw last week that it got Amanda Seales in a bubble, but now the girlies are back online. Well, not even the girlies, because very much demand them, which I actually really like. But the guys are back online to call her a fraud. She ordered this Amazon robe saying, I guess trying to prove that she actually is a doctor, and then also sent a cease and desist to Pastor Jamal Bryant. Now, Pastor Jamal Bryant came online and said, hey, a few months ago, you sent me a cease and desist, and because I spoke out about the fact that you are discrediting what Black physicians are doing all over the United States, and you're a shambles, you're a liar, you're a fraud, right? She sent it from a lawyer. Well, no, she sent it from herself, which I didn't even know you could send something as a cease and desist from yourself and not your lawyer. Then she lied and sent another one from a lawyer, which was a different name. And then she sent an email to him from what he said was basically a sham of an accreditation. So the director of this school, this church school, that she got her actual doctorate and not an honorary one that she's basically saying that she studied for, emailed Pastor Jamal Bryant saying she does have a real doctorate, but we can't provide you with the transcripts or whatever. He looked at the email and said, this don't seem right. She sent a cease and desist. He said, I'm not going to say nothing. But because now you want to be doing up Netflix, he's now said, nah, I need to come out and say that this is the lies that has been going on behind the scenes. So she, I guess, not kicked yourself in the foot, but basically brought this back up. Like, why don't you just sit down, girl? Sit down. You could have just kept quiet for a little bit, but you still wanted to antagonize and poke the bear and still try to prove that you ain't wrong. It's giving narcissist. And all of the time that she would sit on the Cam Newtons and the Nick Cannons and call everyone a narcissist, you have narcissistic behavior. You do, babe. You do, boo. Because there is no need for you to keep coming on this internet talking about said degree, but yet you ain't shown us nothing. No transcripts, no certificates hanging in your grandma's house. So until then, Cheyenne, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, go into that. The fact that people could go on Amazon and click this $30 cap and gown so quickly, like, she thinks she's the smartest in the room. You are not the smartest in the room. Anyway, so she sends all this to Jamal Bryant. Then Dr. Mark Lamont Hill from the Joe Budden podcast, but also just political commentary in general, love him down, had a sit down with the president of this Christian school that she said, well, that emailed Jamal Bryant saying that she had a real doctorate from them. And in this interview, this man is one sitting outside um maybe the school, just not an office. If I was a president or the lead professor, because he seems to have all these titles of who he is to said school, I would look official and I would sit in my office. I wouldn't be doing this from my mobile phone in the car parking lot of whatever building this is that you're sitting out front. Like, it looked a shambles. Come to find out, the school has only been going, like, has only been live for 8 weeks. When you Google the said school, it says that it's not found. And then if you also further Google, you would see that this school is not accredited in, I think it was North Carolina or wherever the hell this school is, right? So she can't find this degree that she had years ago. This new degree that she said allegedly that she has, still can't find. And this guy is basically saying in this interview with Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, that it's been open for 8 weeks. He's given her this degree. She worked for it, but wouldn't be able to tell you the breakdown of the modules or what she was able to do to attain a doctorate in 8 weeks, but also can't claim that it is a real doctorate and claim that she is a doctor because it's not accredited. Like, embarrassing. Like, Cheyenne, girl, life coach is right there, bitch. Okay? Just say life coach and leave it alone. Leave it alone. She's now since come out saying that she don't know this man. All right? But really and truly, you do know this man. And I feel truly he was trying to fuck. Okay? This is the pretty privilege that we speak of, because you're trying to say you don't know this man. So you're trying to say that he emailed Pastor Jamal Bryant with this information, signing his name for no reason, just for the sake of it, without, like, why would he do that? He did that because you asked him to. He did, and the reason why he did that, putting his whole whatever he's got going on the line, was probably because he wanted to sleep with you, be associated with you, because you're pretty. This is the pretty privilege that we speak of, because you will allow these men to look like damn fools to come and defend you. Idiot things. Idiot things. I need her to have shame, and I need her to go about her day. Okay? No more of this, Cheyenne. Like nobody wants to see you anymore. Anymore. I don't know what is going on with you, but it's actually pathetic. Go and sit down. Anyway, next, singer David. We have been talking about this for a while now, and what I really don't understand is, for the last couple of weeks they have been in court discussing whether or not this should go to trial. That in itself felt like the trial. I don't understand why we had to do this plenary thing, because at the end of the day, like, there is enough there. I didn't feel like we needed to go through all of this. But anyways, during this 5-day hearing, the judge has now decided that it needs to go to court with a jury, right? Although everything that has been discussed, there have been outside journalists and reporters allowed to be in the court while this is happening. You have the prosecutors and the defense telling their stories. You know, they had witnesses go on. They basically did like a mock trial, it feels like, of what is going to be found. He still places himself as not guilty. I wonder when they actually go to trial whether he's going to stick to that or if he's going to take some lesser. And nor do I think that he should go off, because I think he needs to be under the jail. But at the same time, if he was smart, I would take something lesser, because the evidence is evidencing. Okay, so basically there was many points where the prosecutors aligned all of this stuff that we already knew. You know, career-ending threats. So Celeste, at her little age of 13, 14, 15 at this time of this going on, or 13, 14 and 15, sorry, as this is going on, She is saying, I will tell my dad so many lies about you. I will end your career, your life. I will damage everything. There was also the allegations that they have 9,000 text messages, 9,000 text messages linking them together back and forth, right? The night before her death was when she said, text this, because she was sending threats because he was cheating on her and dating other women, right? Then there was a 21-minute murder window, okay? So they were able to digitally track, right? When he called the Uber for her to come to his house, and then for her to basically say, which I haven't decided. I don't think they've decided whether or not he sent this text message or what. But he says, "Girly pop, I'm almost there. Open your door if you're home." And then her phone went into permanent silent mode after that. So this is part of the ambush. He also then, after her arriving at his home, text her phone basically saying, "Are you still coming?" to try and make it seem like she never turned up. But they have the digital proof of him calling the Uber, it going to his house. Because obviously, if the Uber was called and went to her house and she never got in it and it never turned up at his house, then they would have cancelled it and there would have been receipts of said cancelled um Uber, but it was a complete trip. Then there's also him sending a message saying, "Are you still coming?" Even though she texts saying, "I'm going to be there in a few minutes." Okay, there is evidence within those 9,000 text messages of grooming and sexual grooming. So it details their relationship between the ages of when she was 13 and he was 18. There's explicit conversation discussing pregnancies, abortions, and then there's a message from him to her saying, "Let this abortion be the last one until we have a real one." Okay. There was also photographic and video, uh, um, photographs and videos of sexual acts between the two of them while she was underage. Right. This was present on his phone and the phone that they believe to, well, the defense is basically saying is her phone as well, this blue phone. Okay, so then there's also the forensic things. Okay, so the cause of death is two fatal stab puncture wounds to her torso, and then also through her liver that was pierced through her chest and lungs. Right. Um, then there was also the blood sampling. So while he stabbed her, he let her bleed to death in his garage. There was blood all over his garage, like traces of blood all in her garage. There was also pieces of the blue pool inside her wounds. There was even pictures of the bag in which the body was found in the back of the Tesla. And there was like decapitated, like her leg, where the blue pieces of the pool was in the joints of her leg. There was a bit where her arms was missing, and then there was the blue pieces in that as well. Very gruesome and disgusting images that the people were able to see in the court. Remember, this is not the jury. This is like public people that want to come in, journalists who were in there and able to witness this while they were doing this preliminary trial. And then they also have the purchases and digital records of all of the shovels and the saws that he used to do what he had to do. um yeah, so it was just a lot. Basically, the financial motive is that she was basically going to out him for being a pedophile, for being abusive to him, to being abusive to her, and he did not want that to ruin his career. They also heard snippets of different songs, some released and some that were like drafts of songs that he's made about killing her or killing somebody, things about her name, and just making like references to this murder. So they basically went into all of this. Then, the defense of it all, which I don't even understand why they're using this as a defense, is that, um, that she was very volatile and that she was the one threatening him. I don't know if they're going to try and use that as a self defense thing, but self defense is one thing if he was to kill her in self defense, but he decapitated her body and then put it in a bag and then put it in a Tesla and then left it to, you know, do what it needs to do. Um, and wrote about it in a song. And then anyway, just it doesn't make sense what their line of defense is, especially for the fact that he has said that he is not guilty. So again, remember, he is saying that he is not guilty, and their defense so far is that she's volatile, and she's all of these things, and she was a threat to him. They also wanted to say that there was parental consent, so the idea of him being a pedophile, and that being the reason why he would kill her because she was willing to out him. They're saying that that is not true, and that wouldn't be a motive because her family were aware that she was dating him. Now, they were, and that is the fucked up thing about it. They were aware that she was messing with him. They did try to stop it. However, there is also cases. There also was a case of her going to London with his whole family, mind you. So his family was also aware that he was dating this minor. They're trying to say that they believe that she was 18 at the time. Every picture of Celeste to me gives little girl. She's baby bodied. Okay, there was no grown woman hips, grown woman this, grown woman that, like forever to say that she looked older than the 15, 16-year-old that she was. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that his parents were okay with him bringing her around when they went to this trip in London, a mess anyway, and the fact that her family apparently co-signed him going away is even more disgusting. So yeah, so this is going to trial. We'll see how this goes. I just think it's absolutely disgusting, really. He's done it. Like, this is one I feel very stern to stand on, the fact that he done this. He needs to go to jail. He really does need to go to jail. I don't even understand why we're having this conversation. I don't understand why we need to do a preliminary. He should have just went straight to court. And I also feel like this was obviously for the defense to hear all of the stuff, like all of the evidence that the prosecutor is going to come with, and then create a line of defense against what they're saying. They need to come better than she was violent, and also the parents knew, because the lady, and they're also trying to align the fact that when the police found her body in the backseat, the back of the trunk, they didn't do certain things up to code. So they're trying to say that they want to, remove some of the medical analysis done on the findings of the body and what was found and all of this kind of stuff, because it could have been tampered with and all of that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, they found this body. It was already, like, what is the word? Decomposing, right? Been there for a while. So they didn't really know what to do with this body. But they took the pictures, they did what they had to do. And at the end of the day, even if the DNA didn't prove these things, the pictures of them proved that there was the markings of the pool in the body. There's also DNA of her blood in his garage, and the tester was registered to him. So, baby, don't try it. That's probably the most sickest thing I've ever even seen or heard in my years. But this is crazy. Anyway, next, let's go into something a little bit more lighthearted. LeToya Luckett from Destiny's Child. And if you don't know, that is a problem. Okay, read up on it. If you're too young to know who LeToya Luckett from the original Destiny Child 4, that's a problem. But LeToya Luckett was on a live talking with her former road manager about the time when she left Destiny's Child and then started her own solo career and had that song Torn, which #1 hit. Torn in between the two, cause I really wanna be with you. Tell me I should leave you alone, leave you alone, leave you alone. If you don't know, I don't know where you were, because that was a big, big hit. Anyway, this shady ass man. Also, what is wrong with men? They be chatting more than the women these days. So this shady ass man comes on, and you could tell that LeToya didn't want no parts, because he brought up the fact that when she went solo, he was told he was told that radio personalities were told that they can't play the torn record, because if they do, then they will not get any record exclusivity, or exclusives, I should say, to Destiny's Child music. Now we know who that would have come from, the Matthew Knowles extraordinaire, right? But at the same time, why would you say that? You know, we have moved past the back and forth of the Destiny Child four to four to four to three. When what's the name again? Yeah, it was 4 to 3, or was it 4 to 3 to 4? To 3. Anyway, when Latoka and LeToya and Latavia left, then they had Farah, and then she left, and then the DC, as we know, with the Michelle Bridge Williams. Yeah, I don't understand why they were doing that and being shady. Now, this is her story, absolutely, and I think we all know that it wasn't easy when they left. I do believe that what this man said was true. I just think that where we are now, to bring it up, you could tell that LeToya didn't want no parts. She didn't want no parts of it. Anyway, Matthew Knowles, again, Matthew Knowles comes online and posts a video of all of them, as in all of the members of Destiny Child, minus Farah, because obviously, Miss Pack Your Bags, and they'll be waiting for you at the airport. Wasn't there, but all of them hugging, and I think he put like DC 5 or something like that, right? And she put love hearts to be like, yeah, I see you, I respect it, blah blah. And then she put a post saying, how amazing Torn did, it went to #1 and all that kind of stuff. Now, she's basically saying, I'm too big for this. I think that was Michael, that was Matthew also saying, we've moved past this, let's just move past this. Everyone is happy, everyone's united. But I truly believe that everything that man said that Matthew did it. He didn't say who it was, but it was obviously from them and that label. And it might have not even been directly from him, it could have been from that label, but that definitely does seem like a Matthew Knowles call. Okay. Anyways, Love Island US. It's ended off a while ago. But there's been some crazy things happening. 2 stories actually. Trinity, the winner of Love Island, her ex-boyfriend. I think you see a common theme of men here keep talking. Trinity's ex-boyfriend posted videos and pictures of them prior to her going to Love Island. So I'm assuming that they broke up, but they were still kind of messing around. He put in the captions, before you went on Love Island and blocked me on everything, you promised that you weren't going to hurt me and handle the situation correctly, but I guess it's fuck me. This is all because she won and she's still with this man. The thing about this is, she sent him a very long text message, and I'm not going to read all of it, but you lot can find it, because it basically, in my opinion, she was very clear on the fact that she was going to see what this was. She wasn't sure if she was going to find love, but obviously this is a dating show. So she was very real, I think, on basically saying, hey, I'm going to be on this show. It is a dating show. So there is a possibility that I might fall in love with someone, and I have to be open to explore. And that's something that I'm willing to do. Just giving you the heads up about it. This is what you're going to see. And I'm trying to go all in. I think she over-explained it. It was a very long message. I think she over-explained it. They weren't together. It wasn't like they were together and she broke up with him to be on Love Island. It seemed like they were already on a rocks. Well, they were not together. And this was something that she wanted to do. He also then posted a card where she was like, I really, really appreciate you and I love you and da-da-da-da. And in my opinion, all this gave was Trinity is a lover girl for real. Everything that we saw of Trinity on Love Island US was proved in this. One, there's a video of him sucking on her toe. Sheila when Bryce did it. Perfect. her being very open with her feelings and being very appreciative of the love and affection that she receives, and being open about how she likes to be loved, explained in that card. Like, very lovey-dovey physical touch, which she explained the Love Island scene in all of those videos. I'm so sorry, honey. It just looks like you flopped. Like, you fumbled the baddie. You didn't treat her right. It obviously wasn't doing very well in terms of the relationship, because then she took this opportunity to go on Love Island. If you had it locked down and you had it patterned, she would have never went on there. So she went on there for a reason, and you obviously made it easier for her to go on there and do what she needed to do. No one in a committed, happy relationship where they feel valued and appreciated is going on Love Island, even for the fame. Well, some people would, but I didn't really get that from Trinity. Do you know what I mean? So now that she won, you're putting up pictures and videos as if that's going to make us discredit her. If anything, that just made her seem like more of a lover girl. And it also made her seem respectful, because she overly explained what Love Island is. And if you got something to say it now or forever hold your peace. She blocked you and kept it pushing. And also, the fact that she blocked you meant that she didn't want to deal with it, right? So yeah, I don't really get it. She said she didn't want to hurt you because she didn't want you to be blindsided of this is what she was doing. This is what she was going to do regardless, right? Anyway, shout out to Trinity and Bryce. They seem to be loving up LA. They're having dinners. He's practicing DJing and making music. She's there, eating food and just being a supportive girlfriend, looking all cute in LA. Like, this gives real relationship, and I love that. We're not going to talk about the fact that Nick and Andrea broke up and now everyone's saying it was a fake relationship. They broke up as soon as there was another not biracial, multicultural relationship coming in to replace them. That's what it seems. Do I care? No, as long as Landria is getting her bag and she is happy. Do I feel bad about it? Absolutely not. Fuck y'all and anyone that's got a problem with it. So yeah, we're gonna get into another Love Island baddie situation. So I'm sick of Kenny. Kenny and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, same person, different story. Do you know what I mean? We've let it go. It's died down. But yeah, you want to come back to us with the bullshit. You want to come back to us with the bullshit. No one wanted to hear from you, Kenny. No one wanted to hear from you. But guess what? Kenny decides that he wants to go fast up himself and go on a podcast and talk about his relationship with what's her name, JaNa, all over again. So he was on the Journey podcast. Who cares? Don't know about it. Anyway, so he was basically saying that he doesn't have an issue with black women. He's dated black women in the past. He's Dominican and he's got black ancestry. The issue that he had was apparently JaNa was abusive. Now, this is the angry black woman trope that you're trying to put on her, but we have seen him disrespect JaNa on international TV. And what that girl do, break down and cry and say she was about to leave. And then when he came back to her and was talking all that rare, I'm so sorry, holding my chest like I'm gonna cry, she gave him a hug and walked out. One thing about JaNa, it gives princess. It doesn't give cuss you out. It doesn't give cuss you out. Not to the point of a Serena, not to the point of even Leah. It's not given that. So for him to say that she was verbally and physically abusive to him, and that is the reason why he didn't want to deal with her, I think it's bullshit. So that was what he was trying to say. He was basically saying that he was doing it to protect both of their image. He says that he didn't talk as crazy in the text messages as he alleges, or she alleges, and her friends allege. He said that no one checked on him after he ended it with her because of the abuse, and she was calling him trying to fix it. And he said that Cordell, who's Serena's boyfriend, the winners of that season, was the only one who called him to check on him. Cordell obviously then came out and said, listen, I called you to see what's going on and I checked you about the bullshit that you was doing. It was never to defend or co-sign anything that you was on. I stand by JaNa. You're foul. keep my name out your mouth. That's basically what Cordell said. And yeah, like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. He sent her a cease and desist so she didn't drop them text messages. And she's now saying that she's going to go to her lawyers so she has the ability to put out these text messages and show people what really was said. I say, JaNa, send that to me and we can leak it. If it just so happens to end up on Lipstick Alley, you could drop your phone in the middle of Times Square, report it missing and stolen. Someone leaks it on Lipstick Alley, because that's apparently still a thing, honey, and we could all get it, okay? Because I don't understand why we're not leaking this shit, because this man is talking and digging himself into a bigger grave. You and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, shut the up. Shut up. You thought that you was gonna go onto the Dominicana TV on your novella was it talk show? Was it reality TV show? And people weren't gonna bring up the fact that you were racist towards black women, and you thought you can be over that side and you was gonna be loved and appreciated. Don't nobody want to fuck with you, because nobody wants to fuck with a weak man that lies. Not even as a friend. How about that? So yeah. Anyways, lawyers are involved. JaNa, run him to filth. I'm excited to see it. Another one, another story. Chris Brown has pled guilty. This was many, many years ago. But do you guys remember when Chris Brown was in London and he apparently struck a producer over the head with a bowl? So apparently he struck the music producer twice in the head with a tequila bottle in Tape nightclub in Mayfair. And then the victim was then traced and pushed to the ground and kicked. This was with Chris Brown and his vocal coach. They have pled guilty to this, and by pleading guilty, they then exchanged the pledge of guilty, of being guilty, for a lesser charge. So, you know, whatever. But what they have pled guilty for still holds like 3 years in prison. So they have done that. The judge notes that all options remain open to the courts during sentencing. So he's been given bail. He's still allowed to be on tour with Usher. He's still out there making out and licking up people, and doing all the dirty things that Chris Brown says. Do you know what's so funny though? The mugshot that he took was leaked online, and honestly, the UK girlies, people were like, I've seen hotter man in Lewisham and in Croydon. Someone's all like, zoom out a little bit. This is the man that y'all wanna be fighting over. I have seen hotter men in Croydon and Lewisham. Someone also said, like, look at his eyes. His eyes look dark, like it looks evil. And I will not lie, that was not cute. It wasn't a cute picture, mugshot. It definitely wasn't giving Prison Bay. Mm-mm. Do I think he would get some pen pals if he was just a random man in the prison system on TikTok begging for pen pals and money? Yeah. Do I think that there would be a loser girl on there to have him on Life After Lockup? Yeah, but he did look raggedy though. He did. He did. So yeah. Anyway, this court proceeding is going to happen in Southwark Crown Court in October. Starting on the 26th, it's going to be both of them scheduled for the same court case, so they'll be running at the same time within the same court case. And yeah, they pled guilty to it. So we wonder what it will be. Do I think he's going to go to jail? The English court system is just as light and lackluster as the Canadian one, so I feel like they will be getting off. It would be great if he didn't, because Chris Brown, I think, needs to learn a few lessons, because he just going around here beating people up since 16, honey, or 17, whatever that first one happened with Rihanna. But yeah, fact that he pled guilty, I'm sure he will be just fine. But we'll be keeping an eye. It's not till October, but we'll definitely be talking about it then. Anyway, we're gonna go, since we already started in the UK, we'll go to the UK now. Nala's baby is in the news, and I'm sure some people are like, who the hell is Nala's baby? If you're from anywhere not the UK, Nala's baby is a child's skincare line. So there's creams and body washes and all that kind of stuff. And it's started by Krept from Krept and Conan, which is a UK powerhouse group, right? Rap group. Okay, two black men. And since their, success in music, they have both ventured out and done quite a lot of businesses. But Krept is very famous for Nala's baby, named after his daughter, Nala, who had skin issues. And the reason why they created this line was because of the skin issues that she had when she was baby. Great success story. It is like one of the best products in the UK, fastest growing, blah, 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 all of great things thus far. No one has ever said anything bad about Nala's baby, even Krept, really. It's been very successful. But for the first time for everything, it seems. Anyway, so they received backlash because Latto, Big Mama, Latto was in the UK for her performance to promote her album, and she did a pop-up with Nala's baby. So the people in the UK was basically complaining or annoyed that they felt like it didn't mesh. Latto has a mascot that looks like her, but that mascot is in shorts, and Nala was outside twerking. Well, Nala wasn't twerking. The mascot was twerking with Nala. Y'all see the video. Okay? So everyone was in an uproar because why is baby Nala, the people's princess, the people's niece, outside with this puppet shaking us? Now, are they wrong for that? Absolutely not. But a lot of them were saying we don't even understand the point of this partnership. The point of the partnership is Latto gave birth. She is a mother now. The whole point of the album, well, not the point of the album, but on the cover of the album, in the rollout of the album, was her talking about moving in from single motherhood, single womanhood into motherhood, right? So that was the connection of the two brands. It made sense on paper. It made sense that apparently there were women with their kids. Latto was there with her kids. From Krept's response, he also respectfully was talking to one of the people that was one of the women that was commenting on it in a negative light, and just basically said respectfully, you do speak a lot for the black community and speak up for the black community, so I'm not going to go at you, sis. But here is a little of the context. The little bit of the context is this is what Latto was doing. Her team reached out to us and wanted to do basically like a baby group, have mums and their kids come, meet Latto, take pictures, all of that kind of stuff. The organizers asked if Nala wanted to go outside and take pictures and stuff. He said no. Security said that they would take Nala out, so Nala went out, and then eventually he called her in because he was like, okay, where's she been? The issue for me wasn't the brands. I don't think it was Latto's fault, and I don't think it was even Krept's fault. Who I think is the issue is this puppeteer. Everybody talk about everybody, but the puppeteer. Who is this mascot? Who was behind this mascot? Whoever was behind this mascot needs to realize that the UK ain't the US. Okay? We don't do that. This, when you go in all the time and you see these mascots or these people dressed up as Elmo and Barney at the kids' parties, and they're all twerking and busting into splits at the US cookouts and birthday parties, that shit don't run in the UK. Okay? Don't nobody want to see no grown baby character twerking at no kids party. So this person in this costume is at fault, and honestly should be fired. To be honest, because in what world did you think it was okay to come out here and be twerking? Now, could they have added some extra shorts, maybe made it a capri, pedal pusher, maybe instead of these butty riders for this event? Absolutely. But the mascot is the mascot. She's using the same mascot everywhere she goes. This is the same thing taken everywhere. So maybe the batty shorts the batty riders would have stayed. Let's be real, we have all been in batty riders in front of our kids. It wasn't the batty riders per se, it was the twerking of the batty riders with Queen Nala. niece Nala. We don't like it. We don't like it at all. So yeah, a mess. Crep, honey, we stand by you. Mistakes happen, and I don't think he'll be putting his daughter in that position ever again. I do think that it was a good crossover if it went well. I don't know in terms of, I didn't check to see if Latto was doing any promotion of it on her channels, but he did speak on the expansion of Nala's baby in the US, so it made sense. It just was the execute. It wasn't even execution. It was just this raggedy ass whoever was in this costume. Why are you twerking at the baby event? Let's be real. It was this person who did it, who went too far. Take the picture with the baby, dance with the baby, little two-step with the baby. That's all you needed to do. But twerking, girl or guy, because who is behind it? I don't know. But yeah, a mess. So yeah, give some slack. You know, whatever. Anyway, let's get into the next topic. Yungfilly. Yungfilly's court case has has ended with the 10-day trial. We're waiting for the verdict. And basically, it's all the details that we've kind of spoken about already. He actually did get on the stand and defend himself more than Tory Lanez could ever have done. Okay, one thing I can give props to a man that stands on a trial stands to trial, I guess, and pleads his innocence. Do I believe that he's innocent? No. But do I give you credit for saying you're innocent and standing on it? Yeah, I can give you credit for that. So basically, what we saw in terms of the medical and physical evidence was that they were shown graphic images of the 22-year-old victim, and they had a medical expert testify that there was green, purple, and linear bruises on her neck and a large yellow bruise around her right breast. He said that they were love bites. They're obviously, the prosecutor is saying that it was an assault. So they're saying that it was heavy biting that broke the skin and that she required a tetanus shot. He and the defense are saying, when he was on stand, and the defense is basically saying that, you know, they were aggressive love bites using his tongue and teeth, which he argued that she was moaning in a positive way on it. She obviously then claims that she was slapped and choked, and he firmly denies that he choked, slapped her, or impeded her breathing in any way. There was contradictory statements regarding what the initial involvement was. She definitely did say that she liked him. She used to call herself Philly's wife on socials, and she was a huge fan and very much wanted to hang out with him. She alleges that they were supposed to go to an after party, but then ended up going to the Intercontinental Hotel. He's saying that while he was on stage, he leaned over the railings and said, "Do you want to come home with me?" And then she basically said yes, right? He said that he put his arm on her waist and denied touching her inappropriately or asking her for sex at the venue. He just said, "Do you want to come home with me?" And she agreed. She says that her phone was confiscated from her as soon as they got to the hotel. The prosecutor is arguing that that was a way of trying to isolate her, to silence her, to make her feel uncomfortable. He's basically saying that is standard privacy practice for someone of his caliber. They take the phone so no one can do any pictures or leaking and blah, blah, blah. I will say that, let's be real, that is, you're going to sign an NDA or you're going to take these phones and put them somewhere. That doesn't seem, very different. I can see why they would say it that way, but that's what they're going to say. The complainant testified that while the interaction inside the hotel began as consensual, so she's never saying that she was, our word from the beginning. She is saying that she wanted to be there. She liked him. She said that, yes, I'm Philly's wifey. I want to be with him, blah, 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 kind of thing. She did that. And wanted to be with him. She consensually was there at the beginning for this. She wanted to be with him. But she's saying afterwards, she withdrew her consent because she repeatedly screamed no when he was being physically violent with her. She alleged that he ignored her pleas and R-raped her. I can't even say it, R-worded her multiple times. He then says in his counter defense that the vibes were good throughout the entire night, and his defense team presents that she was willing and enthusiastic participant and claims she never gave any indication of pain or discomfort. Okay, so the witness testimony is that his security guard also then testified for the defense and stated that he was the first person to see her after leaving the hotel, and she showed no visible injuries or immediate distress in that moment. Apparently she gave him a thumbs up and was happy to go about his day. She then also apparently sent him a message on Snapchat saying that she left her keys, which was a lie, and he didn't then respond. And they're trying to say that that was the reason why she then went to it, because he, then ignored her. But she then said that the reason why she did this is because she wanted to confront him about what he did to her. So that was the, back and forth. The jury is currently deliberating, and any day now we should have a final verdict. We will see what happens. I think from the evidence and what I, feel deep down, I truly believe that she is not lying. I don't think she's lying. I feel like she was able and willing to have, intimacy with this man that she had, a desire or I guess love for, dreaming about, being his wife and, all these things that women do for celebrities. Let's be real. Like, you want to do certain things with them, but then it turned nasty. And I feel like he came from a place of privilege and a place of power where he felt because she was so in love with the star factor of him that he could then do these very horrible things to her, and he would get away with it because she was so enamored with the idea of being with Yungfilly. He thought that he could do it and she would just take on the chin because at least she was with him, and that is not the case, right? You went too far, basically. So we will be looking out to see what happens with that court case. Prior to this young lady, it takes a lot for someone to go to the authorities right away. By the way, she went right away. So yeah. Let's go on to the final topic from the UK. Big Mo. So Big Mo from EastEnders just did a partnership or collaboration with Reebok. Now Reebok, obviously, that brand is classic British culture. So every now and again, like, you forget about Reebok. I'm not gonna lie, I forget about Reebok all the time. But every now and again, they bring out these collabs that I'm just like, chef's kiss. And this one is fire. Also, who knew her name was Layla? I think she must have a mixed race parent. She always gave that, but I just don't know. But it did kind of give that. Like, one of her daddy, her mama, somebody mixed race. She's giving quarter caste, a little bit of spice going on somewhere. But I thought it was just the cutest little thing. Like, she's cute. She looks great. She looks like the same little Mo, or Big Mo. And I love that for her. So yeah, shout out to them, just even doing this collaboration, keeping it real British, keeping it like closing barriers of ages, and it's just really cute. So I really like that. I really enjoyed that. Let me know if you lot get any of the collection. It just looks like the same. I will say it just looks like the same designs, but they just have her in the advertisement. So I don't really know how much of a collab this is, but it's cute. She's just, the model for this campaign, which I think is cute anyway. Anyway, let's just quickly go to the US. Not to US. Let's quickly go to Canada. officemovers. So if you lot don't know, officemovers is from the Richard's brothers, Jermaine and and Trey. And they are going on to season 3. If you have not watched season 1 and 2, it is on Netflix, and in Canada, Crave. I think it's on the UK Netflix. I think it's on the UK Netflix. I definitely know it's on the US Netflix. But if you have not watched it, watch season 1 and 2. Hilarious. Drake's even in season 2, just saying. But they had Chunks and Darkest Man fly over from the UK to be in season 3, and I am very excited for that. One, just for the fact that our cultures are so similar. So obviously Darkest Man and Chunks are Somali, and I think it's going to be really funny just because there's a heavy Somali culture here, the same way as in the UK, and there's slang and just the vibes, and I just think it's going to be really, really funny. Darkest Man for me is one of the funniest guys of that whole clique, so I'm glad that he's going to be there, and obviously everybody loves Chunks. So yeah, to see the collaboration between basically the same countries but in different fonts is going to be a vibe. I love the fact that Office Movers are always bringing in people from all over, the world. Basically, I remember where like season 2 they had what's his name, the comedian, the Trinity comedian, and they actually plucked him from Trinidad to come, and like now they're plucking Chunks and Darkest from the UK to come and be in the show. I think it's really good. Catch me season 5, maybe season 4 on Office Movers. I don't know. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm really excited to see it. Like I really enjoyed season 1 and 2. So season 3 is going to be even better, obviously, if Chunks and Darkest is in it, obviously. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to the Richards brothers. So yeah, that's it, guys. That was my quick solo show. Please let me know what you think about it being solo. Obviously, I was gonna miss the week, but we're not gonna do that. Like at the end of the day, we gotta run it up. And consistency is the name of the game. We kind of was able to run through it quicker though, because it's just me yapping, and I'm talking really fast. I'm gonna have to slow it down next time. But yeah, I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any comments, then comment down below. Let's get these numbers back up. I also need to, do a bit more. But if you have any recommendations about what we could do to improve the show, let me know. Let me know if you're not doing what I'm doing all over my body. Anyway, love you guys. Have a good week, and I'll see you later. Bye.